Hello, welcome to Lift Devotions. It's a bright sunny day today. It's this Wednesday. Looking forward to some nicer weather, some warmer weather. We do have some tentative plans for Wildwood, and we also have some backup plans in case the tentative plans don't pan out. But what we want to do is have a meeting, a Zoom meeting. Jack and I were talking about this, to get your input about what we might be able to do or want to do, or timing, or when things will work and when things won't. So we're going to have a Zoom meeting, and I hope that many of you can join so we can talk about Wildwood and anything else that we might want to plan as a Lift group. It's hard to tell what this summer is going to be like. The shore is opening up, but there's restrictions. There's restrictions that the Luther Inn is considering or is thinking that the state of New Jersey might be imposing on them, which makes it all more tentative. So we got to look at all the possibilities. That's the thing. So please, if we start to schedule a Zoom meeting, or not start, when we do schedule a Zoom meeting, please get your Zoom machine working, and let's talk a bit about the possibilities. This week in worship, we're talking about school education, teachers, and students. And when I was looking at some samples of some books that might be used in a classroom, I don't know whether you ever read this in class, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I know a lot of schools use this in literature class or in English class or something like that. It's a book that I didn't read until as an adult. I did not read that in school. But the message of To Kill a Mockingbird is timeless and timely at the same time. It's a story of this little girl named Scout and her brother and her friends, and Bo Radley, the weird neighbor down the street. But the main story and the powerful story is about Jem's dad, who's a lawyer, who has been assigned to defend an African-American man who was charged with sexually assaulting a white woman. This was back in the South, I believe in the 1930s. This is set when you still had segregation, when you still had a lot of racial prejudice, where African Americans were definitely not seen as equals of whites in any sense. They were definitely seen as lower class kinds of humans, nowhere near as privileged or as important as the white population. So for a black man to be charged with sexual assault against a white woman, that was almost definitely going to be a conviction, maybe even a lynching, because even though the evidence may have been fabricated or sparse or not even there, just to be accused meant that you were going to be found guilty, that there was not any justice, that the justice was not a level playing field. It was stacked against minorities. White people had the advantage and the privilege, and a white person's word was going to be taken over a black person's word just about 100% of the time. So this lawyer, a white man, is trying to defend a black man, knowing basically that no matter what he does, the black guy is going to be convicted. You see, back in the book and in our life, sometimes truth is not as important as a person's situation or a person's background or where we find ourselves. Sometimes truth is set aside for what society wants to happen or thinks should happen or what's fair, even though it may not actually be fair. And that's kind of the message of To Kill a Mockingbird, that sometimes you may have all the facts, you may have the truth, you may know what's the right thing to do, but the right thing is not done because society says something else takes precedence. So when we're looking at our life today, let's try to find what the truth is, to find out what is honest, what's accurate, and to find the truth in our faith as well. I mean, it's easy to at least try to find the truth out there. Trying to find the truth of faith perhaps is more difficult. But it's something that we've grown up with. Church and Sunday school, through prayer, through lift activities, through everything we do here at Bellman's tries to lift up the truth of the gospel. Even when society may scoff at it, maybe when society may think that the truth of the gospel is nothing but fairy tales, we can know that the truth of Jesus will overcome all that tries to disqualify it, put it down, dismiss it. So read To Kill a Mockingbird if you haven't. It's not that long. "323 pages. What are you doing right now? You got a lot of free time, probably. So pick this up and read it and understand that society is difficult to figure out sometimes and more complicated than it should be. But the truth always does shine out in the darkness eventually.